It started. Hello, my name is Darren. I'm a dad. I'm an airline pilot. I'm a husband of a scientist. May 3rd, 2025 at 5:45 p.m. And I am a line holder again. So last month I was on reserve, my phone close to my face, and this month I am a line holder. What does that mean? I have a set schedule. So last month I had no idea where I was flying. I only know what days I worked. Uh, this month, I know exactly where I'm flying. So when I got my schedule for the month, again, I'm very junior in my status. My schedule this month, I had two London trips, two Madrid trips. Three of them were relief pilot. One was pilot flying. I've traded almost all of them. So right now, this month, I go to Tokyo as a relief pilot, Madrid as a relief pilot, and I believe I go to Rome as a pilot flying. That's only three trips. I had four trips, so I dropped trips, and I'm a gambler. And yesterday, there might be a video about this. Yesterday, I flew a empty airplane from Tulsa, Oklahoma to Dallas. That was a pretty easy trip. Paid time and a half, so it was a pretty good and lucrative day. So if you just come up on this live, my name is Darren. I'm a dad. I'm an airline pilot, husband of a scientist. I've already said that. And I do these lives to answer your questions about aviation and talk about my job in general. Hey, Gavin, how you doing out there on the East Coast? There's a storm moving your way. Hey, I am a line holder. Hey, Alex and Mr. Haygood and Mr. Henry and Mr. Percy. I was London 4 times this month. Right now, I have London 0 times. I might pick up one London because if I can pick up a London IOE trip and be the fourth pilot, be a relief pilot, the London IOE trips are so easy. A four-pilot crew to London, it's like a vacation. It's so easy, so easy. Uh, but as of right now, I can pick up about 38 hours of flying for the rest of the month. So right now, that looks like really I can pick up one London and one Honolulu, and that's about 36 hours. Hey, from New York. Good evening, Mr. Campbell. I like Chattanooga. Chattanooga was a good overnight at Eagle. I don't know why it was so good, but we stayed in Chattanooga. They built it. They had VWs there. We didn't stay anywhere near VW. I think I like Chattanooga, Tennessee, because it was easy in, easy out. And I think we stayed at a Holiday Inn Express there. And as an Eagle pilot, making very little money, they had free breakfast and the free cinnamon rolls. That's why I like Chattanooga. Hey, Mr. Alves. So my first 321 thrust bump takeoff in Phoenix, Charlotte a couple weeks ago. What? So how'd you know it was a thrust bump? I'm very curious. How'd you know it was a thrust bump? Because I've never touched that button before. You see my flight? Yeah. So Mr. Henry, yesterday, that flight from Tulsa to Dallas was supposed to be an hour long. It was over 4 hours long. Uh, Now we took off. It was such a crazy day yesterday. I was sitting at home yesterday playing Wildlands on my computer, not doing anything, and I saw a trip open up for Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm like, stay ahead to Tulsa and fly back. I'm like, I can do that. I said, I'll do it for time and a half because at the time it was like 8:40 a.m. and they had a 9:40 a.m. boarding time, an hour till boarding of the deadhead. So I'm like, I'm not gonna rush up there for less than time and a half. So I put in for time and a half. I didn't make a phone call to get it, but I got time and a half to go to Tulsa, and they paid for my parking at the terminal. I might make a video about this one. So I got up to the airport with plenty of time, and I parked at the terminal, walked inside about 5 minutes before boarding started. Boarded my deadhead to Tulsa, and then a storm came through, and we sat on the taxiway in Dallas for an hour and a half. Then we flew to Tulsa, and it was great weather in Tulsa. Great weather in Tulsa. Uh, Went downstairs, got in the truck, they drove us around to the 777. Beautiful day in Tulsa. I got to the airplane. I did my pre-flight right away. Airplane looked good. It came out of very light maintenance. They had a modification on the airplane. Up to the flight deck, I programmed the FMS. The captain did the whole cabin, make sure everything's locked down in the cabin. We thought we were good to go. And then they said, no, you have an hour and a half edict, meaning an hour and a half delay so we can get a clearance to take off. Like, crap. So I brought just my little bag. I didn't bring my suitcase. Huge mistake. So I'm like, crap. But I had an orange and some sour jelly beans to eat. There's no food on the airplane. There's no drinks on the airplane. There's no water on the airplane. I had my own water bottle. I'm like, crap. So the mechanic said, hey, we can go inside to their little vending machine area, get some snacks. So I went in there, got a Snickers bar and a Coke. The captain was smarter than me. He got a sandwich, a bag of chips, and a healthy drink. He was smarter than me. Went back to the airplane, waited for about another hour, and they finally said, okay, the edict is gone. Now it's just call for release. Call for release, that normally means we start up our engines, go to the taxiway, and they say, okay, this plane's ready to go. When can they go? It's like a 10-minute delay. So we fired up the engines right at 2:50 p.m. because it's almost break time for the ground crew. We started taxiing out, and they said, oh, yeah, it's called for release. Okay, no problem. You guys have an hour and a half. An hour and a half. We're like, well, crap. And we had plenty of fuel. We had like 140,000 pounds of fuel on board for a Tulsa to Dallas flight. We need like 20,000 pounds of fuel, maybe 30,000 pounds of fuel. Less than that. Less than that. Anyway, so we text down to the runway, and we're waiting, and we're waiting. It ended up being like a 25-minute delay, which is not too bad. But then we launched toward Dallas, and the captain flew the leg because he's getting ready to retire. And we got to Dallas, and then we had no gate available. Because at first they could put us on a hard stand. They said, no, you're going to a gate, but the gate's occupied. And we landed at like 4:40 p.m. Right? No, it was less. Maybe 4:30 p.m. Like 4:30 p.m. we landed. No gate available, and we sat on the north pad for 18 right until like 6 o'clock. An hour and 20 minutes just sitting there. We getting paid the whole time. Pulled into the gate at 6:16 p.m. We're supposed to be done at noon. The poor captain. Long story. Anyway, that trip yesterday ended up paying almost over 10 hours of pay for a 1 hour flight. It was a 777-300. 777-300. So only so much Kensington a man can take. There is, Mr. Percy. Missed the storm flying into Bradley today. Good lucky you. Bradley's also nice. It's a nice airport in Bradley. I've been there a few times. Head to DFW Tuesday morning. Red eye from the SMF. I'll be there Tuesday, but not that early though. See if I solo for me next week. Any advice to calm the nerves, Mr. Cincy? Yeah, know how to do a go around, man. Know how to do a go around, and know your limits. If you're coming in and you're soloing and it doesn't feel right, just go around, right? And take your time. Take your time and enjoy it. You'll have nerves, but your CFI would not sign you off. Because when the CFI signs you off, it's their ticket on the line as well. They wouldn't sign you off unless you were ready for it. Hey, from Kansas City. First time catching a live, not a recording fun. Hey, Mr. Bletcher. I have not been to the new Kansas City airport yet. I went to Kansas City a lot on the Airbus, and I only went to the old terminal, which I like the old terminal, because the old terminal was, you pull in, you can be on the curb in like 2 minutes. I haven't seen the new terminal there yet, though. Your flight between Oklahoma and Dallas, it was a 777-300. As far as, it was empty, but we used a very degraded takeoff setting. So we did it's called a TO2 takeoff. So reduced by 20%. And then we did an assumed temperature of 56 degrees Celsius. So the thrust was very low. Very, very low. It still climbed very, very well. Fellow ATP alumni. Hey, Club ATP. Hopefully you got your soul back from them. From Sally Mae, too. Hey, hello, Darren. Kevin from Charlotte. I think you want to secretly move here. I do not. If you admit you love this city, you will feel much better about this place. KP, I will never move to Charlotte. In fact, I am surprised I haven't been to Charlotte on the 777 yet. I have bid for a few trips because I got desperate, but haven't flown either yet. About knowing if it's a thrust bump, I saw a full takeoff release. Ah, gotcha. Interesting. I've never done a bump before, ever. Interesting. Hey, Mike. So you posted about the spontaneous overtime flight. Pretty cool, flying until the enclosed. Yes. So at my airline, if we're flying an empty airplane, there is no uniform required. And it could be to our advantage to not wear a uniform, so it can't be reassigned. So yesterday I wore a kind of a polo shirt and jeans, and nice jeans, and some cowboy boots. And the captain wore something similar. He didn't wear cowboy boots, but we were both in civilian clothes yesterday. Absolutely insane to see Airbus thrust bump. It is, especially in April as well. That's very odd. Darren, yesterday was Bree's inaugural flight from CHM to Portland Jetport. Interesting. Breeze is doing surprisingly well. Hey, Darren from Seattle. I like Seattle. Did my Discovery flight last week out of Renton. Loved it. Looking forward to starting my aviation journey. Dude, hey, H, congratulations. The hardest thing, one of the hardest things to do if you want to be an airline pilot or even a pilot in general is taking that first step. That first step of just taking a Discovery flight. It is, it's a lot. It's a lot. Congratulations. So many don't get to that first step. Why aren't you more excited about 777X? Because I don't think I'm not even sure if it's even coming here. But if it comes here, it'll be nice. Are you gonna do any more Fort Myers trips? Have no, my plan is not to fly to Fort Myers. What kind of insulation do you use on your garage door to keep it cool in there? My Model 3 charge historically reduced the state of charge because it gets so hot during the summer. RN, I bought a kit from Home Depot. I think it's a 3M kit. Now when I put it on my garage door, I did have to get my garage door rebalanced because it did, it added like maybe 15, 20 pounds to it. But that was enough to make the motor, because the motors on garage doors are very weak. Most of the work is done by the spring. So I had to get my garage door rebalanced with the spring, and it's been fine ever since. And it makes a huge difference. I don't love your videos. Working on my commercial instructor here in Canada. Thanks for the inspiration. Hey, Mr. Matson. I like Canada. I miss going to Canada. Funny, here's a small Canada story. So I used to fly there a lot at Eagle, at Envoy, many years ago on the CRJ, and we used to have Toronto overnights. Well, we were ending Toronto overnights, and I specifically remember walking across the street from the crew hotel to a Tim Hortons, and I had Canadian money. This is before Apple Pay, before Android Pay. It's a long time ago. And so I went to Tim Hortons. I went, I had this much Canadian. What can I buy? What do you want? Well, give me 2 of those maple donuts. What do I have left? Okay, give me a large coffee. What do I have left? Okay, give me, and I kept buying and buying until I had nothing left of my Canadian money. I think I had the loonies there. La 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 la. Do you think cargo offer my jobs more stability than passengers? Mr. Spartan, people used to say cargo was more stable than passengers before Amazon Air because people used to say boxes don't complain. Boxes have to go. Boxes don't complain about the cost of a ticket between Dallas and Miami. Boxes have to go, right? But here comes Amazon Air, and they've disrupted the whole cargo network. And now people are leaving FedEx and UPS to come to passenger operations. So I'm driving Indianapolis to Chicago to Amsterdam right now. Crazy odds. The captain of my Amsterdam leg lives in my city and was commuting to Chicago, sitting next to me. Full flight. Lucky I have a seat. Good luck. I love Amsterdam. What can for Amsterdam tips? Go if you go downtown, the ferries are free. You can go across the bay, and they have a neat museum. I've got the name of it. I think it's the Amsterdam Visit Amsterdam Museum or something. It's a pretty neat museum. You can go to the top and see I think they have a swing you can swing out over the bay. Hey, look up above. New Kansas City Terminal requires just a little bit more walking, but still quite easy. Everything brand new. I like local food vendors and airports. I don't like chains. So bringing the local community into airports, because that many airports have McDonald's, Chili's, Cinnabon, and they all look the same. But when you see something local, it's like, hey, that's kind of neat. What's Amy's ice cream? And that allows the local flavor to be in the airport, giving them the airport more of an identity of the city and not just some random airport. I finally had my first mini lesson last week, about 30 minutes in a Pipstrel experimental. Let me fly about 20 minutes. Mr. Bailey, that's pretty awesome. I've never been in a light sport aircraft or experimental aircraft. And if you can train in that, save a lot of money. Save a lot of money. Hope you enjoyed it. Even the coffee, no Starbucks. That's fine. That's totally fine. Where's the weirdest place you've been noticed? I've been noticing I've been noticing a few cruises. That was weird. Actually, in an ice cream parlor. Local here in Dallas, we have a thing called Brahms. It's a burger chain, ice cream, grocery store. And we went there just by chance. Like we were dropped off my oldest daughter at the mall. And when my wife wanted ice cream, I said, well, we can go to Brahms ice cream up the street. It's not even by our house. Walked in, ordered ice cream, and I walked my youngest daughter to the restroom. I'm standing looking at my phone, and somebody says, Darren. I'm like, and one of my followers is sitting right in front of me. This total chance he happened to recognize me. My CFI check ride is coming up. Any tips or tricks, Mr. Rutherford? CFI is a rodeo, man. It's a rodeo. Um, have all of your source material tabbed and know what you're tabbing. Don't tab stuff randomly. Like tab what you think is important. And just be familiar with your source material that you're going to be using for your oral. And in an oral, it's never required to be like on the ball answering every question like that. Take your time, develop the answer in your head, and then talk about it. If they ask you a question that stumps you, it could be just to see if you can find it, not to test your brain. Maybe they want to see you have all those tabs there, buddy. Tell me what is this da 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 da, and just know how to find it in there and relax. It's hard. I'm nervous on every single check ride, even to this day. How long to wait to 777 captain currently? I have no idea. It's probably 18, 19 years. It's a seniority. If you switch back to Airbus, you will have to get trained on the new XLRs that only for certain bases. So if we get when we get the XLR, it'll be a handout. Uh, it'll be a differences thing. There's so many models of Airbus we have here. There's Airbuses from U.S. Airways, from America West, from Frontier. There's some from Virgin America, Alaska. There's some from Legacy American Airlines. There's so many different Airbus models here. We get handouts and we're told what the differences are. But it's the same type rating. What financial service do you use? Military pilot transitioning to United. Want to make sure I set my family up for success. KG 400. So first, never ever take financial advice from a pilot. But thank you for your service. For what I use Wealthfront, like Wealthfront. They have two different things they have there. They have a 4% savings account. It's a cash account. So your extra money is right there, easy access for the money. And they have an investment service. I'm up well over 100% over the last 6-7 years. Like I'm 108. Save my phone. Wrong phone. Oh, I have the right phone. I'm up a lot. And if you want a referral link, I can send you one, and you can get some free money. A free money. Free management services for you. This is not real, but this is the number I'm going to show you is fake. It's in demo mode because I'm not a bragger, but the percentages is correct. So I'm up 118%, 118% over the whole time I've been in using the service. So that number you see is not real. It's in demo mode. That is not how much money I have in my account, and it's in some foreign currency. If you shake the phone, it puts it in demo mode. But I like Wealthfront. You can see my big dip was 4 or 5 years ago during 2020. But otherwise, I've still going up the entire time. I like Wealthfront. How's it, Darren? Ever been in the cockpit of an Airbus 220? I have not. He had to choose between a 220 and 737 for the rest of my career. What would it be? It'd be a 220. I've seen 220 pictures, but never been in a flight deck. Retired as a corporate pilot. What I don't miss are red eyes to Europe. How do you deal with time zone changes? Mr. Gary Moore. For me, it's easy because, again, if you're corporate, it's probably just 2 of you guys up there. For us, it's 3 to 4 people up front. I'm never in my seat, if I'm the flying pilot, for more than 3.5 hours at a time. So 3.5 hours, I'm on break at some point. Now, if you are the relief pilot, you can be up there for 6 to 7 hours. But as a flying pilot, it's pretty short stints, so it's not bad. Whenever I land in Europe, I take a nap, and I've learned to nap throughout the day when I'm doing those kind of flights. Darren, I'm sure you've answered this before, but why do all pilots complain about going to Charlotte? Well, Mr. Sammy, it's because most people that complain about it aren't based there. If you're based there, I think you're just so traumatized, you're used to it. But for me, the Charlotte airport is very congested. It's very congested for the operations they handle there. And I think it's very inefficient. I think it's a regional airport doing mainline operations. How did they disturb the cargo? Oh, so Amazon disturbed the cargo space. Where's my Coke Zero's way over there? I need something to drink. Amazon disrupted the cargo space by having their own airplanes. So now Amazon Air not only transport their own cargo, but they also do open market cargo as well. 10 years ago, if you ordered something from Amazon, it got put on a UPS plane or a FedEx plane and then brought to your house by Amazon. Nowadays, you order something from Amazon, It goes on an Amazon 18-wheeler to the Amazon airport. I'm sorry, to the Amazon plane, back on an Amazon 18-wheeler to an Amazon vehicle delivered to your house. So UPS used to do a lot of the middle stuff, and nowadays they don't. And it's because Amazon has their own cargo business. One second. Because again, people used to always say FedEx and UPS were so stable because boxes don't complain, and that's not true anymore. Unfold my tray table. FL here, wondering what your favorite overnight is. Pretty Junior. I just got off IOE in January. Best overnight I've had so far is St. Lucia. I love St. Lucia. St. Lucia is good. Aruba is good. St. Martin is very good. St. Martin is not a free all-inclusive, but it's an awesome island to visit. St. Martin's good. Bermuda is good as well. I think overall, I think Aruba is probably the best one. The all-inclusive there is not free. It's like $80, but you can. I don't drink on overnights, and you can easily get your money's worth because you get there in the afternoon. So you eat dinner, have a snack, have breakfast, and have lunch, and that's easy more than $80. And the dinners there are amazing. It's very high quality food. I also love Vegas. From DFW, decided to go to United. How doable do you think DFW will be if I commute to Houston? So the Houston DFW commute, it's not horrible because you have United and you have American, and then in a horrible pinch, like man, crap hits the fan, Southwest goes to the wrong airport in both cities. But if you got to get there, you can go over to the Love Field. I mean, from DFW, you can take the train over to Love Field, near Love Field anyway, hop on Southwest to Houston Hobby, and then Uber it up to Intercontinental. But there's a lot of flights between those two cities. You can go to passrider.com. That's one of many websites you can go for commuting. But Pass, Papa Alpha Sierra Sierra Romeo India Delta Echo Romeo, Pass like in Rider. You can put in two city pairs. It tells you all the flights between those two cities. But there are a lot of commuters, by the way. And again, total worst case scenario, it's a 5-hour drive. You know what? And I know many pilots that live in Houston, they're based in Dallas, they don't even bother commuting anymore. They just drive it. They say, Darren, it's 5 hours. I have a guaranteed seat. So, hey, Darren, can you explain spatial disorientation and how you and other pilots train for it? Also, is it something a big fear for you? So, I believe that is when you are like, if you're in the clouds and you're trusting your body signals versus your instruments. This is what it is. And now, as far as training for it, you always trust but verify your instruments. So if your body is telling you you're turning right, but your plane instruments are saying you're turning left, and you're in a left bank, and your heading is going the correct direction for left, you're probably going left and not right. And it's not a big fear for me. While your airline is getting XLRs, they are. Darren, what cell phone provider do most wide-body pilots use because they are overseas? Mr. Richardson, many of us use T-Mobile. And so I do carry two phones because I'm a big geek. So on my iPhones, my main phone, I have T-Mobile. It works everywhere in the world. On my Android phone, I have a prepaid service, Boosts Infinite. It's $25 a month. But I also do pay for a European SIM card at $10 a month. That's good everywhere in the EU. And I get like 40 gigs of data for $10 a month. So when I go to Asia later this month, I'll be on my T-Mobile phone and not my Android phone. But I do carry two phones. Why? Yes. Hit the like button. Thank you. Hey, Mr. Oatmeal. It's been a while. Since last time I was in your live, I passed my commercial and multi-check ride. Shaquille Oatmeal, dude. Knuckles, high five, and Knuckles again. It's a lot. You can now get paid to do this. You can get paid to do this. Like, you started off in this whole gig paying to fly, right? And now, in theory, people can pay you to fly. Of course, as you know, once you're a commercial pilot, it's like being a 16-year-old kid with a driver's license. Yeah, you can drive a car. No one's gonna give you the keys to their brand new Model X Plaid, right? But at least you're up to that level now of a commercial pilot. Congratulations, it's a big step. And no more lazy eights. What are your thoughts on LCC versus majors? Mr. Spartan, they're both good. And I know people who work at Spirit that love their job. And Spirit is a great airline. People give Spirit crap all the time. Spirit's a great airline. I have friends that are captains over there. They love it. If you understand what the product is over there, nothing wrong with it. But it's all on what you want and what your career expectations are and what your current situation is, right? If you know, if you live somewhere where there's an LCC has a base there, like a Spirit or a Frontier, I don't know their bases, but if you live in a base and there's no major airline that's based near there, you're driving to work every day. Now, will you ever get to fly a wide body airplane overseas? Probably not, but you can have a great career. You still have a great career. Now, majors, a much broader network, typically higher pay, and could be better non benefits, right? You know, if my family wants to fly to Narita, they can fly my airline to Narita tomorrow, right? Versus Spirit, they could, but they'd be Zetting, and it's a lower priority, it's a whole different process. So it's what your career expectations are. There's nothing wrong with LCCs at all. It's all on what you have set up, what you want in your career for you. And don't ever let anyone else dictate your career or tell you that what you want isn't good. This is your life and it's your career. Do pilots have to worry about flying over the Bermuda Triangle? Sorry, and you can make good money at LCCs. You'll make probably less than mainline or major carriers, but for a while, Spirit had a great contract. They're making more money than we were, but I think they're either on par or slightly below where we are now. Bermuda Triangle, no fear of it. But here's a funny story. First time I flew to Bermuda, I was flying Miami to Bermuda, and told my wife as a joke, but she didn't find it funny. Hey, honey, if I ever disappear, it'll be tonight. I was flying this old Airbus 319 that had no CPDLC, meaning we had to use old HF radios. I'm like, if I ever disappear, and there's some weather, thunderstorm, said, honey, if I ever disappear, it'll be tonight. And we were in radar contact the entire route for like maybe 10 minutes, and there's no radar. Said, it'll be right there, right there. Obviously, I made it fine. Aspiring pilot here. Want to save $150,000 while active duty. Separate to begin flying. Any advice or location recommendations? I want to focus on flight training. Trippy, unfortunately, I can't. I don't ever recommend any flight school or flight path. I haven't been in flight school for 18 years. So I can't help you there, unfortunately. Airlines as fast as possible. I would focus on the time building being fast. The initial training, I would do slow or at a good pace. I wouldn't rush through your initial flight training. Did my first pattern work today. 10 laps, had a 15-knot crosswind, 90-degree thermals down here in Arizona. Oh, Mr. Herrick, you're a pretty fit guy anyway, but you'll lose some weight. Lots of water. Those thermals suck. So when I started flying on May 5th, 2006. So my anniversary is coming up. It's here in a couple days. When I first started flying, I was flying in the afternoons and evenings. I was used to all the thermals, like, doing steep turns and stalls in the thermals, right? First time I ever flew in the smooth air, I'm like, at nighttime, I did my first night flight. I'm like, the air gets smooth. I was so used to doing it in the turbulent air. And the 15-knot crosswind, when we first starting out, is a lot. Later on in life, you'd be like, what's it? 30-knot crosswind? Okay, whatever. In the 777, that's nothing. Hey, currently up here in Canada, upgrading at the end of the month from the 220 to 787. Any tips from narrow body to wide body change? How long to get over the loss of the tray table? Canadian aviator, you will never get lost over the loss of the tray table. That tray table, it still haunts me. Yesterday, I had to eat my freaking orange in my lap on the 777. Very annoying. Boeing and Airbus speak totally different languages. So, if this is your second type rating, you have to go into this and erase everything Airbus in your head. You can't go in like, okay, on the Airbus, this is how it worked. No, Boeing's, on the Airbus, at least on the 320 series, the airplane knew where top of descent was. It would show you on the screen, that's top of descent. You could put in a lower altitude. The plane will fly right over top of descent and keep going. The Boeing, it'll go, this is top of descent, you have lower altitude set, it starts going down. It's very different. How commutable is Minneapolis to LaGuardia JFK for a short amount of time, 6 to 12 months? That I'm not familiar with that commute. You'd have to go to Like, well, that's you go in Delta to Delta hub, right? So I bet there's a lot of Delta flights on that route. Probably not very many American flights, and probably very few, if any, United flights. Probably United to Newark though. Is it still worth becoming a pilot in 2025 and years to come? Best things about being a pilot for a married or single man. So life as Luke, I think it's worth it. One thing about this career, it's cyclical, and you will never know where you are in the cycle. Right now, it's pretty apparent that we either are in a downward portion of the cycle or the bottom, one or the other. I mean, we haven't started furloughing yet, so I guess we're kind of hanging out toward the bottom. I don't think we're gonna furlough anyway, but it'll come back up again. And and the problem is if you wait to start training till hiring picks back up, so that's everybody else is doing the same darn thing. So if you want to do this career, you kind of have to start it and hope for the best, but have a backup plan, like a skill or a job you can go do in case they aren't hiring. Um, I love what I do. I love what I do. Um, I get to go fly jets for a living, and right now on 777, it's a super easy job. Like on my next trip, I'm a relief pilot, and I just show up. I pre-flight the airplane, pre-flight the outside. I might make the beds, and then I'm in the back of the airplane for takeoff. Then I go back, take a 3-hour nap, or watch Netflix for 3 hours. Then I come back up front, sit in the captain's seat for 3 hours. Then I go take another break for 3.5 hours. Then the captain comes back up, takes the seat back. I send it back to the flight deck. I watch them land, and I go to the hotel. It's a super cush job. And then I do the same thing on the way back. I picked this up as a relief pilot. It's super easy. As far as being married, I've been married for 20 years. My wife and I have been together for 23 years. 2 kids. We love our lifestyle. It's been this career has been very good for my family. It helps that I live in base. Helps a ton that my wife supports my career. 18 hours in, just in my first landing. Feel like a real pilot now. You are a real pilot. Wasp Bob FPV. After review from Center Fun, it's making me second guess buying a 172 to do my training with a local guy. But TBM. What's up? Yeah, what?
Are you gonna come with us?
Yeah, 6:30, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 7 minutes.
Okay.
7 minutes, and I gotta go to a neighborhood function. You can still get your 172. Some of the cadet programs you can get into as a CFI. They have so many flavors of cadet programs. So find a cadet program that you can get into as a CFI, and you're golden. Your first new title is landing gear test pilot. Haha. Do you have a degree? I do have a degree. I have a degree in journalism. I went to school to be a teacher. I wanted to teach a newspaper and yearbook and sociology. So my degree is in journalism, double major in sociology. I worked in IT. Figure that one out. Darren speaks a lot of wisdom. Listen to him. Hey, Louis. Are you the Louis I think that works for Southwest? Hi, Darren. Any tips on passing the instrument written and check ride? Instrument written, memorize all the answers. Check ride, practice on a flight sim at home, doing holds. You can practice once you have your private for your instrument. Practice on a flight sim at home, doing all the maneuvers and everything. They're an awesome channel. What's the coolest thing you've seen from the cockpit? Like when I was a student pilot, I saw a shuttle launch from Canaveral while flying in the KG&B. I've seen the Northern Lights a couple of times. It's pretty neat. I think for me, flying into the airport I flew out of as a kid. So I grew up in Houston. So when first time I was a captain flying into George Bush Airport, was pretty neat. As a kid, I flew out of that airport. Here I am as a captain of an airplane flying into the airport. Airport is pretty neat. Nope, I work for the team that gives you a radio closeout. Gotcha. Radio closeouts. They've gotten a lot better. And here's what I like about your team versus my old Envoy team. At my old Envoy team, we had a diversion or anything crazy. They do a manual close. They're probably all automated nowadays. But now I like having it all comes out nice and pretty. Very low thinking. For pilots approaching retirement, you want to continue past flying age 65. Well, Mr. Schwartz, many people that want to fly past 65 can go to corporate, or they go teach at the schoolhouse. If you manage your financials well and had a decent career, you should be able to retire and not have to work. I don't want to. When I retire, I'll be done flying. I will have that will be a 30-year career for me at that point in the airlines. I'll be good. Very welcome, Mr. TBM Reptiles. And do you think it's a great career to get into? Yes, Mr. Ahmed. Hey, yeah, I love my job. I get paid to fly airplanes. On a bad day, I fly a 777-200 to London. No, on a worse day, I fly a 777-200 to Charlotte, North Carolina. Last one I'll answer will be Life is Luke, then I gotta go. Flight sims are great. First type was Q400. I like Q400. Then CRJ 220, and now moving to 78. They are very different systems. The 78, there probably are some pretty good flight sims you can get into. But if you know, so you've gone from, good lord, Q400 down to the CRJ. So yeah, you know what type ratings are. So just forget everything and learn to speak Boeing. If the 330 was an option, I would have picked over the 777. Best advice for aspiring young pilots: take a discovery flight, and if you're young, every action you make in your personal life could affect your future career. Don't drink and drive. Don't speed. Don't get speeding infractions. You have a lot of speeding tickets or infractions on your license. Your future employer pulls your driving record. Your dumb choices as a kid show that you don't make good life choices. And why should we trust you with a multi-million-dollar airplane and hundreds of lives on board if you can't drive down the road at the correct speed limit or wear a seatbelt? So always think about every action you make, because when you're a kid, I was a kid once, you think you're invincible. You think, oh, whatever. They have the whole group think. You're in a big group of kids and they're all doing something stupid. Back away. Don't do stupid things. Stupid things you do as a kid, as a teenager, could affect your future job as an airline pilot. And then look for grants and scholarships. Make this career path less expensive. And join professional organizations. AOPA, NGPA, WAI, LAPA, PAPA, the 99s, litany of different aviation organizations. Find one that has a chapter where you are and just join and go hang out. If you're 16 years old, if you're 14 years old, say, hey, mom, dad, I want to be a pilot. The AOPA, the Civil Air Patrol, has a chapter here, and they have meetings on Thursday nights at 6 p.m. Can I please go to this? It doesn't matter if you have never touched an airplane. Getting involved locally, the people you meet in that room, you might be able to help them, and they might be able to help you in your career. That's something I wish I would have done when I was younger. And gave the organization one month in, my biggest takeaway from flying and chair flying versus chair fly. Yes. Chair fly. And when you chair fly, don't do it in a quiet room and you're all peaceful. For me, put on the most annoying music in the world, stuff you can't stand that annoys you, and chair fly, listening to that crap in your ears, and maybe throw a ball against the wall. Because you're being mad, you're being annoyed by this stuff in your ears, and you're being distracted by the ball. But if you can still chair fly with all that going on, when you're in the actual airplane and you're nervous and you're bouncing around, you'll be just fine. All right. They do look at the driving history. I do have to go. The evening event. Have a great night. Again, my name is Darren. I'm my dad. I'm an airline pilot. My husband is a scientist. I make videos about once, twice, sometimes 3 times a week. Please hit like, comment, and subscribe. That's all I ask of you. Don't ever spend any money to support me. I don't want your money. I just want to get the word out about my job and my career. Have a great day. And as always, thank you for stopping by.